We covered groups, users, and also we have permissions and inheritance of permissions used in groups. Right now, we're going to going to talk about organization units and group policy objects. I'm trying to do this fast because we don't have too much time. So let me explain. If you go to Windows Server, this is a diagram of the organization unit for this specific domain. But what can we do for helping us managing users and groups and other objects that are in Active Directory? This is the default configuration of the Active Directory, but you can create also some folders, and I quote folders because they are organization units. You come here to name local, and it's my idea that the best way is to create organization unit for that represents the hierarchy of a company as most closer possible. So in this case, we have a company that is that is working in 3 countries: Portugal, Poland, and UK. In each of these countries, they have also departments. So what we should do is to create a folder. In this case, an organization unit. Yes, special characteristics where you can place the objects, and since the objects are placed in those folders, in these organization units, they will have some group policy objects, so you can apply specific group policy objects. To do so, to create a organization unit, you must have Active Directory users and computers, and then from the beginning you have name, the name of the domain where you want to add the organization unit. You press right button of your mouse, and then new, and then organization unit. Where is it? And then you must give a name. So since we are in Portugal, we'll begin to create Portugal. Look that there is a protect container from accidental deletion, and we're going to check what the reason why. So you say OK, and then we have Portugal, and in Portugal, and if you check about this diagram, you have HR, sales, and IT departments. So we'll create an organization unit for each department. New organization unit, where is it? Organization unit. So you have one from IT, and then you create new organization unit, and you have for sales, and then OK. But wow, we made a mistake. Sales is not inside IT. Sales is at the same level of IT. So let's delete it or move it. When you try to delete, you say that you don't have enough privilege. How so? If you are administrator, you should have all the privilege. This happens because when we are creating an organization unit, I'm going to create here Poland, for instance. Well, sorry, I didn't show it. A new one. Create new organization unit. IT. You have here protect container from accidental deletion. So how can we reverse this option? When you are looking, if you see view, you can check also in the users. It's perhaps easier. Pedrolinha properties. Right now, look at the options we have in this window. and Tomás Santos properties, and we'll check right away. Oh, this is where is the user? I lost it. Here it is. So if you come to view, you've got advanced features. You click on it, and right now you have more folders and more objects here. And if you open users and Tomás Santos, where was Tomás Santos? Here it is. You say properties, and right now if you check, Tomás Santos has other options that Pedro Linha doesn't have, simply because we set view advanced features. Okay, now when we want to delete Portugal, we want to delete here sales. Right now if you go to sales, and if you say right click properties, we can see that we have here security, object, and the object is protected from accidental deletion. You remove it, say apply, and right now it's possible to delete this this organization unit. This was a protection that was made after 2003 when we accidental delete organization unit and all the objects that were inside of it, GPOs and so on. So let's continue to make our organization unit 3. Go to organization unit, and then we say it's where I'm creating it. Okay, Portugal. Oh, it's better if you come here. Organization unit, and you've got sales, and here again we have HR, and the same applies to Poland. We've got IT, you create HR. The order is irrelevant, and then sales, and so you've got this organization unit, Poland. Inside of Poland you've got other 3 organization units, IT, HR and sales, just like we have here on the schematic of the organization. Now what we have to do is to put the users inside those organization units. So we're going to place Tomás Santos inside IT Poland and Pedro Linha inside IT Portugal. We also had to create another one, I don't remember, but we'll check. So I come here to users, and Pedro Linha goes to IT Portugal, yes, and I've got Miguel Lelo, and also Tomás Santos, where is it, is going to IT Poland. Miguel Santos belongs to M. Lelo UK. I'm not going to create this organization unit. So right now you have the users inside each of the organization unit, Pedro Linha, and in IT Poland you've got Pedro Santos. To see the benefits of using the objects, place it inside this organization unit, let's check the exercise that we have next. Here it's a simple one. It says that create a GPU global group policy object that for all domain users that will not allow them to access the command line. This is for security reasons. So to create a group policy object, we have to use another window, another tool. So we come here to tools, and then we have group policy management. Okay, click on it, and right now we can check that we've got domains inside of domain name local. You've got Poland and you've got Portugal. Inside of each organization unit you won't see any objects, only the group policy objects that you apply to. The Windows, when you install it, when you promote to Active Directory, it comes with a default domain policy. This domain default domain policy, you shouldn't, in my opinion, you shouldn't change it. You should leave it as it is and fix it and provide another policies that will apply against this policy or whatsoever. Here what do we have? We have the domain controller. He has a default domain policy, and you've got here you can call it as a nest where all the policies are built in. Here is the place where all the policies are, and when you create a policy, the policy will be placed here. Then you have to link it, as you can see, link it to the place you want to apply that policy. We've got here sites. You don't have time to explain how sites work, but you've got also here started group policy objects. The started group policy object, it means that you can create a specific procedure for your domain, for your organization unit, or so on, and then when you create a new one, you will use it as a standard, and you'll make some changes upon those group policy. We don't have time to do this. Just let's create a group policy that won't allow the users to go to the command line. This is quite easy, and if you check about where this policy is applied to the root of the organization unit tree. So you have to apply them here, disable CM access, and to do so you can do it in two ways. First of all, you click on the place and then create a group policy object in this domain and link it here. So we're going to create now the name of the policy. The name that you should give to the policy should be exactly what that policy does and what this policy will do. It would prevent users access command line. Okay. Look here, you could choose a started group policy, but we don't have none, so we won't select none. Then okay, and right now we just created the group policy. Now we have to say what this policy will do, and to do so, oops, sorry, I'm going to do so. It will be applied to all the authenticated users to this domain. You can check here details if it is enabled or not, when it was created, settings. Right now you have to oh, it's a security issue about the Internet Explorer, doesn't matter, and delegation to who it will delegate and the status it is applied or not. The simplest way, if you click on the right button and then you say edit, and right now you're going to edit this policy. Well, the policies, the security policies could be applied to computers, a group of computers, or each computer, or generally to user configuration. So they are divided in two parts. Generally, most of them are applied to user configuration. What we need is, if you come here to policies, you see that they are divided in software settings, Windows settings, and administrative templates. In these administrative templates, they are also separate in different parts, for control panel, for desktop, network, shared folders, and so on, so on, so on. Since we don't know which the name is of that precise group policy object, you can come here to all settings. In all settings, you can list that there is all the group policy that Windows already has as default, and we can choose one from existing here. You've got two ways of the policy. Extended, we click it, you see if you have the policy and it has a short description, what it does, where it is applied, and so on, so on. or you can have the standard. But when you have the extended, you have the state, if it has comment or not, and the group policy itself. If you come here to the standard, at least this is how I like to work with. You can check the name of the policy, if the state, the comment, and other stuff. But which is the policy that you want to apply? So we come here to the filter, we click on the filter, but nothing happens. So let's come here to action, and you've got here filter options. You click on filter options, and we can also filter in different way, if it is managed, configured, comment, and so on. Notice that comment, it's important, since you have a policy. If you comment, you know what it will done. Let's enable keyword filters, and right now what we know, it's we want to access the command line, something connected, something referred to the CMD, command line. So let's say OK. You're going to filter, and right now in all the settings, all the group policy objects, you'll find out 4 of them. So right now it's easier for us to choose which of the group policy you want to configure. And here it's a good thing. Prevent access to the command line. Let's double click, and here it's the information. Policy that prevents users from running interface command prompt cmd.exe. Now, the policy, all of them, they have 3 options. It's not configured. If it's not configured, you don't have to worry about it. But when it's enabled, you must read it just like this. Enable what? Enable prevent access to command prompt. So if we click and if we choose enable, it will prevent access to the command prompt. What about disable? Disable, you can say it's a counter group policy. It will apply what? It disables the prevent access to the command prompt. This is how you should read it. So right now let's do enable. Some group policies, they have other elements here that you can choose. Pass, if they apply to something. For instance, if you don't allow it to run script program in the startup and so on, we don't care about this. Right now let's also comment. Create here a comment. Generally you should say who is creating this, what does it does, prevent access to command line because yes. It's a good reason, because yes, because it's because yes. Okay, access. And also when we apply today, what's the today? 27 Feb, right, to 1980. So we'll say apply or OK, and right now you can check that this group policy object is enabled and it is comment. If you want to find out what policies you have, you can go to filter options, and for instance you can check only if they are a comment. You say OK. Oh, sorry, I didn't make any suggestion here. Filter option. And right now it's easier to find out, or if you come to the state, you can order by if it is enabled or if it is comment. So right now this group policy is applied. Is applied where? Look, it prevents user access to command line. Here it is. It is applied to the root of the organization unit tree. So, but here, as administrator, I have possibility to go to the command line. Why? Because this GPO wasn't applied before. But let's come here to the client, and here in the client, let's try with Pedrolinha. Pedrolinha, probably, let's CMD command line. Oops. command line, open file location. Okay, I'm going to copy everything, task folder, and command prompt. Well, Pedro Linha has access to the command line. Why? But he shouldn't. What happened? Simply because he didn't apply the group policy. They are applied by the system, and they aren't normally applied. So to force the new group policy, we can use group policy update and then /force. So we'll force the update and then force. So we'll update the group policy to the system, and right now I'm going to close the window for the user. It's still working. Some group policies we have to log off or even reboot the computer, so it means that they will be applied to that computer. So I'm going to make log off or sign out of the Pedro Linha, and then I'm going to log in again, and hopefully right now it's disabled. So this group policy right now it's not enabled. Group policy add is effect. Just we don't have too much time. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Okay, to explain what I have to explain. You've got here, since the domain administrators need to have access to command line, proceed so that they can access the command line. How can you do this? Let's look here at Active Directory. Right now, the group policy, it's like if you place water on a tree, it will come from the branches and to all the leaves that are the group policy object, how shall I say, all the organization units. So right now we logged in as in IT. Let's look here as IT. Pedro Linha doesn't have access to the command line, and so Tomás Santos shouldn't have to. Let's check it out. Just for a second. Switch account. Name. Oh, Tomás Santos was logged in. Perhaps we have to log off Tomás Santos. Let's check. Yeah, you have to log out. Tomás Santos. Sign out. Then log in again. And Tomás Santos can't access the command line again. Okay, this is easy. But right now, oops, sorry, it's not. Right now, what can we do? Something else that we lost my. Okay, since administrators must access the command line, you have two possibilities, or perhaps three. You can go to the group policy object itself, and here you can exclude or include other users and other groups, administrator, and say that it won't be applied to administrators, and so on. Generally, I don't prefer. I'm not very fond of this kind of administration, only if you don't have anything else to do. But for me, it's much easier if you create another group policy object that is produce exactly the opposite of this group policy. To do so, you can also create another group policy and how shall I say, and the order where they are applied to, it's important. But one of the best things, something that I'm fond of, is to if you could create another organization unit, and since administrators they have a special role here, they shouldn't be they shouldn't uh, they shouldn't be in contact with a lot of a lot of policies. Then the best thing is to create another organization unit and place here the admins, for instance. Now if you move the admins, where is it, users, if you move the admins, the administrator, and we have so the president, right? If you move them here to admins, you have, and now we are going to create a counter group policy allowing them to access the command line. So to do so, let's create another one. Press F5, and right now you should have admins here. F5. Okay, we've got already the organization unit here. And another way to create or to link the group policy, you can create and link a group policy here, or if you wish, you can come here and make a new group policy. And now it what does it does is allow admins access CMD. Okay. Now I'm going to rename this one admins to CMD. Now we're going to edit this group policy object. I'm going to make the same information, all settings, standard, filter, action, filter option, CMD. Okay, and we find the group policy object that you want to make. So here you're going to add it, and right now Ruela, today it's 27 to 280, and it's a counter GPO allow admins to access CMD. So what's the opposite of enable? Is disable. So we place here disable, and we choose disable, press OK, and then it's disabled. Before I make the group policy objects, let's go to the client. I'm going to log off. No, sign out. Let me see. I'm going to sign out also as administrator. Okay, and I'm going to sign in again as administrator, name administrator, and the password administrator. Let's go to the command line. Okay, and as you can see, administrator as also is not enabled to access the command line, but we can right now, if you come to the server after we add this group policy, if you do group policy update force, it will apply the latest group policies that we had to our Active Directory. And right now I'm going to log off as sign out as administrator. I'm going to log in again, and oops. Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry. I create the group policy, but I didn't link it to admins. So I have to link it here, link an existing GPO, and say that allow admins to access the command line. And okay, and right now, all the users, all the objects that are inside this organization unit will have access to the command line. I'm going to update again, go to the client, sign out. We got to link it. And then again as administrator. What time is it? Okay, oops. And we'll finish for today, okay? Password. And then if you go to the, can check that right now the user, this user has privilege and he can access to the command line. One of the great advantage of using group policy objects is that, for instance, where is it? We have here Pedro Linha. If, for instance, Pedro Linha right now moved to the admin's organization unit for any reason, but thinking that he is moved from one country to another, if you go to the client, let's sign out. Let's Pedro Linha. I'm going right now. Pedro Linha, he shouldn't have access to the command line, but if he sign out and sign in again, since is in another group, in another organization unit, right now Pedro Linha should have access to the command line. Should have access to the command line. Yeah, here it is. So with the group policy objects, what you have only to do is to move the user from one organization unit to another and apply the group policy to that organization unit. There are much more to say about organization group policy and other stuff, but we have to finish here. Okay, we'll see you perhaps tomorrow. See you.